Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are going to tackle a problem that, let's be real, pretty much all of us face. We're talking about how to transform that overwhelming graveyard of saved links, articles, and videos into a living, interactive AI knowledge base. I mean, just imagine an AI that actually knows exactly what you know. That's what we're building today.
Here is the architectural blueprint we're going to use to put this together. We'll start with the information graveyard, then look at the 3 pillars of knowledge. Assemble your AI toolkit, build out the living wiki, dive into journals in the CRM, and finally, look at automating your entire second brain.
All right, kicking things off with part 1, the information graveyard.
So, this is the universal problem. Honestly, ask yourself, where does your saved information actually go? Think about all those brilliant YouTube videos, the super insightful articles, those 3-hour-long podcasts. If you're anything like most people, you bookmark them, maybe save them to an app somewhere, and then you literally never ever look at them again. It is a massive source of wasted time and lost ideas.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core issue, right? Traditional second brains have essentially become just static dumping grounds where information goes to die. But an AI second brain, like the system recently built by tech creator Matt Wolf, is completely different. It's not just storage, it is an interactive, living ecosystem. It automatically summarizes what you save, cross-references your ideas, and actively converses with you based on your own curated data. It's a real game changer.
Moving right along to phase 2, the 3 pillars of knowledge.
To make this work, the system is broken down into 3 core pillars. First up is the wiki, or knowledge base. This is basically the home for all that web content you save, your tweets, transcripts, articles, the whole shebang. Second is the CRM, the customer relationship management pillar. This is where you store your meeting notes, contact details, and interactions with specific people. And third, we have the journal, which handles your personal reflections, daily struggles, or any creative blockages you're working through.
So the crucial point here is how these 3 connect into what Matt playfully calls the big old soup of content. The wiki sits right at the center of everything. It creates this rich, highly personalized context window. When you add a note to your CRM or jot down a journal entry, those pillars connect directly back to the wiki. That way, when you ask the AI for advice, it isn't just pulling from the open web. It's scooping from this centralized pool of your own saved conversations, transcripts, and thoughts.
All right, phase 3, assembling your AI toolkit.
Getting this off the ground is actually easier than you might think. You only need 3 main tools, and the best part? You can start entirely for free. First is Codex, an AI coding environment that basically acts as the engine, where we'll run the chat and process our files. Second is Obsidian. Think of Obsidian as your front end. It's this massive, free Markdown file organizer where you'll read and visually map out your data. And third, you need the Obsidian web clipper for Chrome. This thing is absolute magic. With just one click, it doesn't just save a link, it automatically extracts entire YouTube transcripts straight into your Obsidian vault.
Next up, phase 4, building the living wiki.
Now we're pouring the foundation, and we're basing this on an architecture laid out by AI researcher Andrej Karpathy. When you prompt Codex using a structure, it generates a very specific, lightweight set of folders and files right in Obsidian. You get a raw folder for your immutable source material, like untouched articles. You get a wiki folder, housing the AI-generated synthesized Markdown files. You also get an agents.md file, which is basically your master rulebook telling the AI exactly how to operate. And finally, an index.md to catalog everything, plus a log.md to keep a running record of every update and question you throw at it.
Let's move to how this builds out in practice, because the pipeline is super smooth. Step 1, say you watch a great YouTube video about psychology and discipline. You click the web clipper and boom, the transcript drops into your raw folder. Step 2, you just tell Codex to process that raw folder. The AI reads the entire transcript. Step 3, the AI automatically generates new synthesized Markdown files in your wiki. It'll pull out concepts like identity-led goals, cross-reference them, and link them directly back to the original source video.
Which brings us to phase 5. Journals and the CRM. So you can easily teach this AI new tricks just by prompting Codex to update that agents.md rulebook we talked about. For example, you can add journal rules, telling it to log your diary entries by date and title. And crucially, you instruct it to ground any life advice it gives you directly in your existing wiki content. You can also add CRM rules. Let's say you type a quick note that you met Matthew Berman at a 2024 Qualcomm event. The AI will instantly create an alphabetical contact file for him, complete with his bio and that specific meeting context. It's ready to pull up the second you need it before your next conference.
To really show you the value of this system, let's look at a real-world demo journal entry from Matt Wolf himself. He wrote into his system, "I have a ton of ideas for videos, but decide not to make them because I'm worried they won't get a good view count. I constantly grapple with making videos that will get a lot of clicks, but knowing I'll get hate in the comments. You know, a very real, vulnerable creative block." Now, what is truly fascinating here is the AI's response. A standard ChatGPT prompt would probably just spit out some generic motivational poster advice, right? But because this AI is grounded in Matt's specific second brain, it responded by saying, "The creator notes in the vault push back on this fear. YouTube Valley of Death and creator persistence both frame visible metrics as lagging indicators." It directly cited specific YouTube strategy videos that Matt had saved weeks prior. It didn't just give generic advice, it gave his curated advice right back to him exactly when he needed it most.
And finally, Phase 6, automating your second brain.
Once you're set up, you can actually put this whole ecosystem on autopilot. Inside Codex, you can set up a reoccurring automation loop. You instruct the system to use a high-reasoning model, like the future GPT 5.5 they referenced in the original setup, to literally wake up every single hour. In minute 1, it checks your raw folder for any new web clipper saves and processes them into the wiki. In minute 2, it cleans up after itself by moving those raw transcripts into a processed folder. And then in minute 3, it automatically pushes your entire updated directory to a private GitHub repository, so you have a secure, continuous backup.
The visual payoff for all this automation is the Obsidian graph view. When you first start, it's just a few disconnected dots on a screen, but over weeks of clipping articles, saving YouTube transcripts, and journaling your thoughts, this graph grows into this massive, brilliantly interconnected map of your mind. It's so cool to look at. Your vault gets smarter, denser, and way more powerful every single day, completely customized to your unique interests.
Which really leads us to a final thought to leave you with today. When your AI knows everything you know, what will you build together? You now have the exact blueprint to stop throwing your ideas into an information graveyard. Go download Obsidian, grab that web clipper, and start building your living, breathing second brain today.